Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Open Studio. As always, I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Kambwa. And yes, we've got another informative and exciting show for you guys today, because joining me in studio is two amazing people from an amazing organization called Communities for Peace. And it's Anne and Des. All right, they've given me the shortening of their names because we're in that level now, we're friendship level. All right, so during the show, guys, you're going to see different faces, but that is only for your own benefit. So make sure you tune in to reap all the benefits. So guys, firstly, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's a pleasure
So,
to be here.
oh, thank you. Earlier when we spoke backstage, I could see the inspiration you guys have with this initiative. So for those that's watching at home, that's seeing you guys for the first time, do not know you, can you just introduce yourself before we start? I'll start with you, Anne.
Yeah. So my full name is Anne Wikke, and
Yeah.
easier. Originally from the Netherlands, moved to Cape Town, South Africa last year only.
Okay.
Very active with IHV, it's the International Association for Human Values, which
Yeah.
was founded in 1994 already by His Holiness Sri Ravi Shankar, to actually bring projects uplifting social and economic empowerment to people. And part of that, Communities for Peace, is part of IAHV.
Okay.
But
Wow.
Des will tell more about that.
Yes, sir. And can you introduce yourself? Tell us about yourself, yeah?
Yeah, so my name is Desigan Pillay.
Yeah.
I was actually born in Durban. I spent some time overseas, and then for the last 10 years I've been in Cape Town, based out of Cape Town. And I'm been for the last, I'd say, about 8 years, been very heavily involved in the volunteer space
Yeah.
within Cape Town communities.
Wow.
in
So
all aspects.
yeah. So when we speak about volunteering, what kind of volunteering we're speaking about?
So, fundamentally we're looking at things to bring peace, inner peace. And then what we find is that as we start to bring the inner peace or individual peace within people
Yeah.
or within individuals, we find that they can't help but want to care for each other and can't help but want to care for the environment. But the foundation that what we find is really about bringing inner peace first.
Yeah. Wow. Now speaking about inner peace, what is the mission for Communities for Peace?
Okay, so the goal of Communities for Peace is really to address the root causes of violence. If you delve really deep into it, there's so much of trauma and so much of healing that's required in our communities.
Yeah.
And it's because of that conflict or that trauma in the mind that there is so much of violence and so much of conflict in our communities.
Yeah.
So if we can learn how to address that conflict within the individual's mind, then we can address the conflict within our communities as well.
Wow. And and
Really
what
starts by the individual itself, and it's like a ripple effect,
Wow.
which you will see.
So how long have you been part of the movement?
For me, since 2008, started in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, but also working within Europe
Yeah.
as well.
Also running the same initiative.
Not specifically the same initiative,
Yeah.
but the same core principles of bringing peace to the individual itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now diving deeper into what the organization does, if we're speaking about Communities for Peace, when did this start, firstly?
So Communities for Peace is a culmination of work that's been done within IAHV, the International Association for Human Values,
Yeah.
over at least the last 20 years within South Africa.
Okay.
And we've reached out, with all of the violence that's been happening recently, and Avika and I were at a point where we thought, maybe it's time to leave the country. And we had a difficult conversation about that, and it got really to the point where we made up our minds and that's it, I think it's time to leave, because I was at work stressing out about whether she's safe, because she's going into the communities and she's working in Hanover Park, Cape Flats, and I was stressed out, completely stressed out, and I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So the only option for me at that point was, okay, I think we need to leave the country. And then shortly after, a few days afterwards actually, Anavika got the news that she's now the head of social development projects for South Africa, for IHV and the Art of Living.
Okay. Wow.
And when that
So-
happened,
No way back, we had to stay.
Yeah.
And
We
we're
had to
actually
stay,
really
alright.
happy we can stay.
Wow. Well, that's
Because
a
the
big
work
move,
needs
yeah.
to be done here.
Yes.
You can
definitely.
leave the country and then what?
Wow.
and that gave us such a relief, because we didn't want to leave, right?
Yeah.
We only felt the need to leave because of safety. So in one sense, it gave us relief that, okay, cool, the decision is made, now we stay and we make things work. We work to build a better South Africa. And we reached out to all of the amazing people within IHV that are doing wonderful work, big projects around the entire world. And we learned from them. We
Yeah.
found out how they're addressing terrorism, how they're addressing extreme violence in Iraq, in the Middle East, in Europe, in South America, in the States. And they shared their models, and we learned from the people locally as well that have been doing fantastic work
Yeah.
in communities through IAHV over the last 20 years.
Wow.
And they shared all of the challenges. They shared what's working. They shared what's not working. Some new ideas that they brought to the table as well. And then together we came up with this with the Communities for Peace initiative.
Wow.
You know, and it takes all of those lessons learned.
Mm.
You know, at one point we stopped and we looked at all of the people in the room. If you just take all of the experience and put it together, it's hundreds of years of experience from various NGOs that were put together that came up with the Communities for Peace
Wow.
initiative and
Yeah.
the model itself.
Wow. So taking all this knowledge from these different organizations, how does it help the project? How does it help the organization to bring about peace within the society?
So, you know, if Anavika and myself or IHV on its own had to go and say, we're going to bring peace in any community and just do it as IHV alone, it's almost impossible to do
Yeah.
that. You know, we really need to work together and form partnerships with all of the different organizations, from local government to national government, through to NGOs, to schools, businesses in that area, to really work together and address the root causes.
Wow.
Because without those partnerships,
Mm.
you're only addressing one specific thing. You know, and when
Yeah.
you look at a community, it's about actually getting to every aspect of society in that community. If you want to bring about a quick change, if you want to bring about quick impact or a bigger impact.
Wow. And what you say, Anne?
No, it's more like if you have synergy, like 1 and 1 is 3. Like you can work by one, but if you combine everybody's power and everybody's
Yeah.
knowledge, you
Yeah.
can make a bigger impact, a bigger shift. And I think it's really time to make that shift.
Yeah. So I'll say that it's been working for you guys so far. I mean, looking at the success that you guys have had so far, and the number of organizations really coming in to want to give in the input
Yeah.
to help the project grow. So I'll really say it's been beneficial, so to speak. So we're gonna take a quick break, okay? I believe we're gonna have a guest that's gonna be joining us in studio in a bit. So guys, for you that's watching at home, if you find this conversation interesting, it might be just for you. So get another friend to watch it with you. So do not go anywhere, guys. After the show, continue with our conversation. So do stay tuned. See you now. All right, guys, welcome to what if you just tuned in, you're watching Open Studio here on Cape Town TV. As always, I'm your host for the show. My name is Danny Kambo. Guys, like we mentioned earlier on at the beginning of the show, I had two amazing guests within studio now, and I've got 3. All right, joining us now in studio is Siraj, who is a participant of Camp Joy. So for you guys that just tuned in, let's get to know Siraj a little bit more. So Siraj, to you, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, man. Thank
Yeah, it's good to have you. So for those that's watching now that haven't seen you or that's seen you for the first time, can you just tell us a little bit more about yourself before we start?
Okay, I was born and raised in the heart of an Park,
Okay.
where there's poverty, gangsterism, crime happening every day, even at this present moment.
Yeah.
And I found myself in drugs, which I smoked heroin for about up to 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And I am now in recovery at Camp Joy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. So, looking back at the past, what has happened, having an addiction, how is that? What was that process like for you? When you speak about addiction, there's many negative things that comes with it. You lose a lot of things, And so, what would you say? What was your experience like during that moment?
Well, basically, attached to the drug is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And the lifestyle that you develop over time, which becomes a habit, which is completely attached to bad negativity.
Mm.
I mean, like you automatically become a pessimist,
Yeah.
basically. So what happens is you will almost become a picture of negativity to everybody, even though you weren't raised like that.
Mm.
You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I was in prison already. I was in Paulsmoor already. I've been at different facilities already. I basically came clean from myself on my own, and I was clean for 8 years, but I didn't make a complete 180-degree turn around my life. So basically, I found myself at Camp Joy
Yeah.
many years later, which is like I'm there now for about, say, going in for 7 months.
Wow, okay.
And well, the tools that I have now, and I mean, these two amazing people that
Yeah.
came into my life. We do the meditation, the yoga, the breathing,
Yeah.
and it helps me a lot.
Okay. Wow. So let's talk about Camp Joy. Okay. What exactly is Camp Joy?
Want to share more about Camp Joy?
Yeah, Camp Joy is basically a facility where they restore your human values again,
Okay.
your human dignity. So, like I mentioned to you, it is the lifestyle that you adapt, which is attached to the drug, because it's not the drug that you actually really have a problem with. It is the lifestyle that you develop and that you become known to.
Yeah.
You understand? So, because you're in that drugs, that you you get cling to it, man.
Yeah.
So that habit, they basically de-learn it at
Mm.
Camp Joy. So basically, they just restore your human
Yeah.
values, your behavior, your attitude. They work on all of those type of things.
Wow. Wow. That's an amazing project, and it's
So-
also part of Communities for Peace.
Yes, the Camp Joy
Yeah.
is the project that's run by Pastor Craven Engel.
Okay.
And we were working with Pastor Craven Engel in Hanover Park at
Mm.
FCRC, one of the other institutions or projects. And so he came to us and he said, there's another project that he runs
Yeah.
for parolees and for people that have drug addictions.
Wow.
And we went out to Camp Joy. We had a look at the space, and we said, you know what? Actually, we think we can help here. And for the last 2 years, we've been running the social rehabilitation and reintegration program at Camp Joy. And Siraj is one of the participants of that.
Wow. And so what a success story. I mean, wow. And I mean, and if I look over here, looking at these what can I call it, cards that we have here on studio, it actually touches the main problems that we are currently, it touches on
Exactly.
current affairs, current situation that is currently happening in the country. And so how does Camp Joy, or how does Communities for Peace,
Yeah.
bring that awareness about?
See, Communities for Peace and the Camp Joy partnerships, that's an example of how we can partner with different organizations. So Communities for Peace brings in the inner peace element. And
Okay.
through that inner peace element, you get outer peace, you get peace within your family and your relationships, and then that extends.
Yeah.
And then when you find inner peace, you can't help but want to take care of each other and want to take care of the environment.
Okay.
But it really is the foundation.
Mhm.
The foundation is finding that inner peace within yourself.
Yeah.
The external world of conflict and trauma is a reflection of what's happening inside. So, Communities for Peace, if we had to go into the communities and do this ourselves, it would take us decades to make any impact.
Mm.
Camp Joy is an example of how we've partnered with people on
Yeah.
the ground already, people that have relationships with the people that need the support.
Yeah.
So Camp Joy is one example, and then at Camp Joy we brought in other partners too. For example, Urban Harvest. Urban Harvest is run by Ben Getz, and as we were working with Camp Joy, and we were helping them with the inner peace element, and we're starting to notice that there's an appetite or there's an opportunity actually to take this a step further.
Wow.
And we invited Ben to come and have a look at the space. Ben had this amazing idea that, he thinks Urban Harvest can come to the table by building a massive organic farm that could take care of the participants so could feed the participants at Camp Joy, but also the neighboring communities as well. And today, that organic garden, their first harvest was literally last week.
Wow.
And now it is feeding over 600 people in the Cape Flats area.
Wow. That is amazing. That's an
Yeah.
achievement.
It's a
It
huge
is.
achievement.
Yeah.
And the garden is run by the participants from Camp Joy. So they actually learn about about gardening as
Yeah.
well.
So while you are there, you're acquiring skills as well.
Yeah.
Organic food, that if you go to Woolworths and buy the stuff, it's super expensive.
Expensive,
You
yes.
can't afford it.
Yes.
And they have access to it right on their doorstep.
Well, I see a big smile there in your face, Siraj. Were you part of this harvesting as
Yes, most definitely. I'm benefiting from that myself
Yeah.
because I'm a diabetic.
well? Okay.
And basically, the veggies that we're getting in the garden, I'm basically eating from it, and it's helping me as well.
Yes.
So as well, it's helping a lot of people in our community
Yeah.
because we got a lot of people in poverty
Yeah.
in Hanover Park, and we got the feeding scheme running at Pastor Engel is doing the feeding scheme in Hanover Park. And the supplies is great for everybody. I mean, even the elderly people is also benefiting from it.
Wow. So just very quickly, Siraj, before we go on to another ad break, and before we let you go, can you, for those that's watching at home now, whoever's at home with that addiction is trying to get help, what message do you have for them?
Guys, I can definitely tell you that there is hope.
Yeah.
Definitely. All you need is just that love, that support, and that care. Because sometimes tough love doesn't help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All you need to just do is just care and love a bit more.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, and there you have it, guys. There is still hope for you, the guys that's watching at home. So I urge you to please do stay tuned, because after the conversation, we're going to have more coming your way. So don't go anywhere. All right, guys, welcome back. If you just tuned in, you're not too late. You're watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. Today's conversation, we are speaking to Communities for Peace. And in this has brought in another guest for us who is a participant of Camp Joy. All right, so welcome to the show. Firstly, Fahmida, for those that's watching that just tuned in or that's seeing you for the first time, can you just introduce yourself for us?
Hi, my name is Fahmida. I'm originally from Hanover Park.
Okay.
I've been at Camp Joy now for 11 months.
Okay.
I'm also a recovering addict, you know. I wouldn't say Camp Joy is a rehab, it's a restoration center
Yeah.
where me as an individual went, you know, to get my life back,
Yeah.
to restore myself. Because, you know, drugs is it's on another level, you know, it steals your whole persona as a person. You don't know who you are anymore. You don't know whether you're coming or going.
Yeah.
And I was in substance abuse for also 15 years, heroin and tick.
Wow.
And I mean, I can say I lost a lot, you know, but it's not about the losing, it's about where I am now, you know. And I might not be where I want to be, but where I am right now, I'm very content, you know. And at Camp Joy, I've come to learn a lot of things, you know, whereas to restore your life, find yourself, you know. And sometimes finding yourself is very hard if you don't have the necessary tools, you know. And especially when you went through trauma in your life, like I came out of an abusive household, you know, and stuff. And that is also another reason why I went on drugs, because of the major trauma that I went in. That was an impact on my life, you know, and I ended up using drugs. But I tried for 7 years to pick up myself all the time. I fall, but they say it's not the fall, it's how you get up. So I'm at Camp Joy now, busy restoring my life, finding myself, and there's two lovely people here, Enrica and Vika and Desikan.
Yeah.
They have a major impact on my life. I first thought about this breathing. What is this? You know, let me test it. You know, but it's actually making contact with your inner self.
Yes.
You know, where you know sometimes we as human beings are not aware of our body. You know, of our hands, of our feet. You know, and we're not aware of what we eat.
Yeah.
We just eat and we just shove and we just chew it and there we swallow it.
Yeah.
You know, but the job that they, it's an amazing job. Really,
Wow.
I can say, even with anger issues, I had a major anger issue,
Yeah.
you know, and get angry very quick. You know, you can't say this and then it's like that. But now, you know, anyone can say what. I can step back and I can breathe,
Yeah.
you know. And also to Pastor Craven and his wife, they've done an amazing job. I promise you. I mean, there is no people like them in this world that I've come to meet, you know, and what the love that they have. I think you must have the passion for it,
Yeah.
because if you don't have the passion for it, you know, you're just going to do it. You're not going to, you know, it's not going to become part of who you are. So do something in or a field where you fit in, you know. And also about the organic garden, yes, let me tell you, I am the cook there, so I cook. I cook and I can cook from my own veggies and
Yeah, yeah.
own, you know. So yeah, and people enjoy my food.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I can see how proud you are when you speak about
no,
this.
I
see a
must
big
be.
smile on your
I was a
face.
bit
Yeah.
nervous, but I've done. I spoke already at a school.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the young youth, you know, teenage girls, you know, explaining them about drugs
Yeah.
and what it is all about and where it brings you and where it can take you and the consequences that comes with it, you know. Sometimes we find ourselves in a space of negative peer pressure or maybe just trying to fit in.
Yeah.
And I can basically say I also wanted to try and fit in, you know, and I made a mistake,
then you got-
you know.
you got
But at the end of the day, there is hope. There is a future. you know. And at first I thought, no, man, I'm going to die like this, you know, there is no hope, there is no. But if you search and you find, you know, and you don't give up, you know, and you be persistent in what you are doing and what you want, you know, I might not have the job, I might not have the money, but having my life back and my sobriety, that is the main thing in my life.
Wow.
You know, because once upon a time, I was robbed of being a mother, being a sister, being a child to my mother, you know. So I'd just like to say thank you on behalf of Enrica and Desikan, and also my pastor, Engel Craven.
Wow. So just hearing your story right now, it's one emotional and also one to be proud of, you know, to see how far you've come. Earlier on we spoke to Siraj. He was able to give us his view as a male. But now we have you as a female. How has that journey been for you as a female?
Well, as a female,
Yeah.
it has been very, very tough for me. This is a bit sensitive, but yeah, being in the field of drugs and being exposed to so many things, and also not knowing where it's going to take you. I also ended up in Pollsmoor. I was in Pollsmoor for 6 months. I was pregnant with my 3rd child, you know. I got tired of that life, and I became, you know, where I couldn't deal anymore. I needed easy way out. I needed money immediately, you know. So I went out and looked the streets. That was my way out, you know. That was like 5 years ago, but that is my story,
Yeah.
and I can proudly say, you know, and speak to people about it, because at the end of the day, it might inspire the next person, you know. And also, how can I say, especially we that are parents, you know, that have children. It's not about being girls or boys. In nowadays, boys and girls, they get abused, you know,
Yes.
and they're being exposed. And sometimes we need to be so careful, because at the end of the day, our children goes out there not even knowing, not even with a thought of using, but just by sitting maybe with the wrong people, and
Yeah.
before you know it, they are
Yeah.
drugged up.
Yeah. Wow.
You know,
So,
because
yeah.
you find yourself in situations,
Yeah.
they call it a date rape drug, you
Yeah.
know, so
And it's that easy that you can become
It's-
hooked.
it-
Yeah.
yeah.
So and just before we wrap up, for those that's watching at home right now, and you know they've got that brother, that sister at home that could benefit from this program, how can they do so?
This is open for everybody.
Yeah.
They can get in touch with us. I think that's the easiest way. I think
Yeah.
our details
Yeah.
will be shared as well after the
Yeah.
program.
Yeah. Or if you want, you can also tell it to us if you.
Yeah, they
Can
can
yeah.
get to www.communitiesforpeace, or they can reach out to Anavika and myself.
Okay.
We're quite easy to find in the communities.
And easygoing, I
And
must say.
easygoing
Yeah.
as
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
And hearing
Adam?
these amazing stories from Fahmida and
Yes.
from Siraj is like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It makes everything worth it.
yeah, it
makes
is,
it
and
worth
there
it.
is hope, and there is absolutely hope for
Yes.
for every individual, for this country, for every
Yeah.
community, and we just have to work together. That's
Wow.
it.
You know,
Yeah.
the idea is to have a Communities for Peace initiative in every single community in South Africa. You know, so with that vision, you know, will definitely be access for people to get the help that they need and the
Yeah.
support that they need.
Wow. So just briefly before we close, just one word from you and one word from Anne and Des. What message do you guys have for the young ones out there? You know, and I'll ask you for one message you have for young females out there.
Young females,
Yeah.
stay true to yourself.
Yeah. And Des, what message do you have for the young males out there?
Watch out for Communities for Peace, coming
Yeah.
soon to a community near you.
Oh yes. And you, Fahmida, what message do you have for that person out there that's trying to change their life like you did?
For those out there,
Yeah.
this is from me. Never lose hope. There is a future.
Yeah.
You must just put in the action
Just
and
put
make
in
it
the
happen.
action. There we go. Just put in the action and make it happen. That is a message for you guys to take home today. Put in the action and make it happen. So guys, unfortunately we've come to the end of the show, but I must say I had a good time. I learned so much. My first time hearing about this, but it was so much information, good information. And I hope for those that's watching at home, guys, that this information was just as benefit for you, and you can take this and help somebody else you need. So for my side, guys, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm sure the viewers also appreciate it. And for those of you guys that's watching at home, thank you so much for tuning in. I urge you to come through next week and catch us again here in the same place in Cape Town TV. So till next time, see you.